Welcome back. If you've just tuned in, you're still watching TVC Breakfast Show. It's time to bring you news from the world of sports. Super Falcons striker Sisato Shuol has expressed relief at breaking a duck at the ongoing African Women Nations Cup in Ghana. The China-based attacker scored a hat-trick as the Falcons stomped Equatorial Guinea 6-0 over the weekend. The reigning African Women Player of the Year, who won the Player of the Match award, said she's more focused on the team's success than individual glory. Oshola had a horrid day in front of goal against Zambia in the first Group B game, which resulted in doubts on her abilities. And joining me on TVC Breakfast Show this morning on the sports segment, a sports journalist, Henry Okodwa, as we take a look at happenings as far as the Africa Women Cup of Nations in Ghana is concerned. Henry, it's nice to have you on the show.
It's good to be here, Mian.
The Super Falcons are the defending champions. They didn't start the tournament on a good note, losing to South Africa Bayana 1-0. But then they are back in contention and they are hoping to pick a World Cup ticket. Summarize, the Falcons' preparation and outing so far.
Well, I would say that I've always said it, that the Falcons of Nigeria do not have anything to prove as far as the African Women's Championship is concerned. Even now it has become the Women's Nations Cup. They still are the dominant force in Africa. We have always had problem. We have never had problem of them conquering Africa, but we have always had problem of them taking or translating that dominance on the foreign, stage. But now you could have expected that they would bounce back, especially when it came to the way they started off. It wasn't so nice, losing to Bayana. On a weekend, the Super Eagles were, playing away to South Africa again, in the Nations Cup qualifier. We expected double celebrations, but they faltered and they lost to the Bayana. And giving us the impression that it has narrowed, the gap between the so-called minnows, has narrowed, and that we should not be sleeping on our arse. But they have bounced back now to show that they are, really the team to beat in this tournament.
Well, let's take a look at the next match. It will be the Super Falcons against Cameroon. Surprisingly, the Ghanaians, who are the hosts, are out as far as the competition is concerned. Nigeria, Cameroon, will it be a stroll in the park for the Falcons?
I wouldn't quite say that. I wouldn't say it's going to be a stroll in the park. If you recall that the Cameroonians played them in the final, the last time, and they won. They are very physical, just like their male counterparts, the Indomitable Lions. They are physical, they are big. And our girls, they want to muzzle us, and that's the best way to play Nigeria. But so far, Nigeria has always had the upper hand. And if you also look at the fact that Nigeria has won it 8 times and Cameroon has never won it, then you see that there's still a gap, and we have the experience. Now, Asisato Shuola, our star woman on the team, has found her scoring range. She could be the main threat and going forward. And I think now the girls feel they are so close to getting to the final, to making an unprecedented night win, and it's something that will lure them to perform even bigger.
Well, let's leave the Super Falcons and take a look at what is happening in England, where the Gunners moved to within 1 point of the Premier League top 4 and extended their unbeaten run in all competitions to 17 games with victory at Bournemouth. The Vitality Stadium was the action over the weekend. Henry, the Gunners under Unai Emery, is first season. We're seeing Arsenal going 17 games unbeaten. They started on a very shaky note, meeting the big teams, Manchester City, Chelsea. But now, the Gunners are indeed firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, well, they are living up to their name as the Gunners. But, even doubters still feel that there's still going to be a blip along the way, because the fears still linger about, their defensive abilities. There's still fears about whether they have what it takes to really contest with the big 4 as it is right now. But United Miri, you can't take anything away from him.
Okay, Henry, apologies, I'll be coming back to you on the Gunners, but then we understand Samuel Amedo, a sports journalist, is live on the line from Ghana, venue of the Africa Women's Cup of Nations. Samuel, it's nice to have you on TVC Breakfast Show.
For having me too.
Well, Samuel, tell us the Falcons and their campaign so far. We understand that 3 African teams will be representing the continent at the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup. And the Falcons are back to winning ways thanks to their 6-0 victory in their last game. Cameroon is up next. What is happening in Ghana?
Well, you know, everything is building up. Tuesday is the game. That's tomorrow. And everyone's quite excited. Everyone is looking forward to the game. The Cameroonians, too, are currently here in Accra. We moved yesterday from Cape Coast. Had a 4 hours drive to Accra. And it's been a wonderful journey so far, at least seeing how the team has bounced back from the losing starts against South Africa, and now I think it's much of a loss rather that saw them wake up from their slumber. And for me, I think it's really a good one for them. How they bounced back also from that defeat, 4-0 against Zambia, 6-0 against Equatorial Guinea. It was such a good progression. Now the team is the highest scoring side in the competition and also the lowest conceding side. I think it's much of a good statistics, a good start, if you must ask me, going into the last 4. But going against Cameroon, we all know, even the players do admit that Cameroon will definitely be a tough side. They've been 2-time finalists in the last editions, and they've always been so tight, trying to upstage us at all ends. But I think we've always had that edge, that experience. This time, I believe, will never be an exception. The players are quite aware, and I'm so glad to the Federation, too, are not also staying aloof, because they've done everything possible to make sure the guests are well motivated. The money are now available. They've paid them. There are 2 games, and also the upcoming game, and also on the line to cash on such opportunities. So I think the players are quite keen about making a lot of money from it. 4,000 naira winning. The $4,000 winning the semi-finals against Cameroon, and finals $5,000. So $9,000 up for grabs for these girls, and so for them, let's go for the money. So I think it's one of the huge motivation for them, and I think the Federation are doing so well to make sure they are very much motivated going into this game. So I think nothing really is stopping them, and gladly, like your guest just said, Asisa Oshoala is back on a scoring form. She has rediscovered her scoring boots, scoring for the first time in 5 games. I think it's massive for us, and with such a huge bang, a great bang, 3 goals, I think it's one great positive for the team and also for Nigeria going against Cameroon.
Well, Samuel, let's take a look at the individual players. In the last 2 games, the Super Falcons have indeed provided the Man of the Match award. Francis Caldega, and the last one going to Asisat Oshoala. Are there any injury worries? We understand that despite Desire Paranozie starting the first 2 games, she's not 100% fit as far as the tournament is concerned. And there is this controversy about the age factor, especially after losing the game to the Bayana of South Africa. Should this cause for any worry?
Well, at the moment, I don't see that as being a worry. I think realistically, we have a very young squad and a mix of experience and young players here. You see the likes of Opanoze, like you did said. Yes, she has little injury worries, but right now I think he's fit. He trained yesterday with the team. Immediately they arrived Accra, which I did. I watched them train at the Presec High School. And I think it's a lot of positive we're seeing. And looking at Opanoze, you're saying, I think she's quite a quality player in the team. She's one we always rely on. But at the same time, we're glad young players so like Rashida Dajibade or Dega, they're also stepping up to the plate to ensure that they really also offer a lot of cover up in such an area. And Namimo too, you saw her coming into. We were trying to see how some of these players get exposure, get opportunity, and also one opportunity or the other, they could also be a threat in the box against any of these teams. And I think their youth will be useful. So far, you have an Oshuala on the team. She also good at creating a lot of chances. She did that severally, even though she couldn't score. But I think we'll have so much chances, chances creation going forward. So I think we have no reason to panic. We should just concentrate on seeing our strengths, relying on our strengths, and also playing to our own strategy. The only worry I just have, injury worry we just have right now, is for Faith Kidi, who is allowed to rest. And now we have Josephine Chukwunoye, who stepped in, and she has been impressive at the back line. And I think we have quality players in the team. Denebi has made a lot of good mix, trying to pick players that will in any way can complement any players in case of any unforeseen contingencies.
Well, Samuel Amidu, like to say, whatsoever a man can do, let me coin mine, probably a woman can do better. So let's see if the Falcons will indeed do better against the Cameroonians. We must say a very big thank you for talking to us on TVC Breakfast Show all the way from Accra, Ghana this morning.
No, thanks so much. It's a pleasure.
Well, indeed, that was Samuel Amidu, a sports journalist, talking to us live. Henry, back to you. We're talking about the Gunners from England. And under Unai Emery, we've seen a different Arsenal, although the same style of football under Arsene Wenger. And poco a poco, they are indeed holding their own as we approach the busy schedule of December in the EPL, where you don't have a break and very tight fixtures.
Yeah, exactly. You see, it's getting more interesting when you consider that before now, Gunners fans were, downcast, and no hope of winning a title for a very long time, and now they are beginning to believe again, and it's good for the team. Unai Emery, very experienced. His last team was PSG. He won, the trophy with Sevilla
the Europa
3 times.
Cup, unstoppable.
And so his experience, you cannot doubt that, and he's trying to infuse self-belief into the team once again. It's not as if he has done something out of the ordinary. He just came and gave the players something new, freshness, that's coming to the team, and is beginning to reflect in their results.
Manchester United, do you think it is time for the Old Trafford Warlords to part ways with Jose Mourinho? There are always excuses, but then you're losing grip, between the top teams and those who are indeed contending, for tickets in the Europa and the Champions League.
Exactly.
Another goalless draw over the weekend. For
Mourinho, I think, it gets to a time that sometimes excuses are no longer tenable. Games of this nature, Crystal Palace, they are not really the big teams of the Premier League, if you ask me. In the days of Sir Alex Ferguson, Crystal Palace is a given that this is a match they should just win. Yeah, exactly. So now everyone is beginning to think, should we give him another chance, or should we just part ways? And in a couple of weeks, if this kind of result continues,
especially this busy schedule of December,
when you also consider the kind of pressure being mounted on him, both by fans and ex-players of the team, then I think it's getting close to the exit door.
But the biggest game over the weekend in England was the London Derby. One not London team, the other from West London. Exactly. Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur. Exactly. For the first time, Mauricio Sarri, lost.
Tasted defeat.
Yeah, tasted defeat in England. And Dele Alli, Harry Kane were all awesome. Yeah. Tottenham beating Chelsea.
Yeah, the rivalry is there. It's always been there. If you remember the season Leicester won the league, it was Chelsea that stopped Tottenham from contending for the title. So they like they say in PG English, the bad belly has always been there between the two teams. And I was going to see. I never knew they would lose in their first game, losing, and they would lose by such a scandalous margin. But at a point it had to come. You can't just continue to be unbeaten. At a point, you will lose a game. And so also for Man City, at a point, they will also lose a game. Yeah.
But on a final note, there is this talk about Mauricio Sarri playing N'Golo Kante off position, bring him to that defensive role where you get to win balls. Jorginho, a good passer of the ball, but also does not win the ball easily.
Exactly.
So which is giving Chelsea some form of issues. But then let's see if they will indeed get it right under Mauricio Sarri in the next game, no doubt.
Exactly. You see, when you experience a blip of this nature, you respond in your next game, and they expect everyone, Chelsea fans, the owners, the coach, expect that the team will respond. That's where the character comes in. You know, it's not over yet. The race is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So it's not like the league is still, you know,
it's a marathon race.
Up for grabs, you
it.
know. But when you keep losing the games you shouldn't lose, then you are losing grip.
I must say a very big thank you, and your Kodua for indeed taking a look at happenings around the world of sports.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, indeed, that's the much we've got for you from the exciting world of sports. And Ngozi, indeed, the Super Falcons will be up against Cameroon tomorrow, and it's a huge challenge. Can the Falcons do better than the men once again? That's the big talking point.
Well, that's a question I'd actually throw back at you. For a moment, I thought you're actually referring to me as a member of the Super Falcons. I was just going to say, oh, it's too late.